Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 35 of the Unofficial Rogue Company Podcast, Broguecast. I'm here with Reed.
Lord.
I'm here with Garbo.
And I'm here with Griffin.
And this is the Rogue Company Podcast, bringing you all the news that you need to know about Rogue Company. Also, there's a giveaway going on. Link will be in the description down below. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to check that out and hop into the giveaway. But first up here, we have a very interesting collaboration here with The Walking Dead, guys. It's The Walking Dead. We're doing a Walking Dead crossover.
Yay.
Watch that, and I haven't watched that in 6 years, and I quit reading it probably before that.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Okay, here's what I'll say before we get into everything. It makes sense that they're doing the Walking Dead collab right now since the final season is airing on television right now. It's also interesting that they went with the comic book adaptations of it, and it makes sense why they went that way, so they don't have to pay even more rights for likenesses to real life individuals. But it is what it is. So the way that we're going to run through everything is we're going to run through all the changes, and then we'll run through the actual Walking Dead skins and things themselves afterwards, because they put up two different posts on their website for some reason showcasing both of them. But first up here, we have the Bad Actors and Narrative event. Trent returns a changed man from his horrific accident. His warmth turned cold in the pursuit of the traitor who nearly brought him down. There's a connection between what happened to him and with the AI from Meltdown. Paranoia and stress mounts amongst the rogues. Learn more about how his change impacts those around him, and also take some time to learn the rewards tied to the event. So this is going to be a standard narrative event where you're going to have X amount of challenges to do. The next version of the event, or the next tier of the event, will probably be locked behind a time period until you're able to do those challenges to get that reward. And as you can see here, you get a spray, a jetpack, title, and a weapon wrap, it appears. A weapon or a melee wrap, it doesn't really tell us which one it is, but we are getting another narrative event. And
I think it's a secondary.
I mean, it makes sense because this event is pretty secondary.
No signal.
Yeah.
Dude, look at that fucking Dallas spray.
Yeah, right.
They were trying to keep a straight face when they were like, we got a spray. And
Yeah.
I mean, look at it.
Here's what I'll say, man. Like, it's cool that the developers have kind of a sense of humor about all this stuff. You know, they did the Dallas Spider-Man parody a year or so ago with the spray. They have a good sense of humor when it comes to putting things into the game and things like that. But like, when your community is having a collaborative meltdown about the state of your game, I don't think that right now is the right time to be putting these little funny things, because when I see this Dallas skin, it makes me want to fucking punch somebody because you focused your attention on this fucking Dallas thing as opposed to, I don't know, fixing problems with the game. You know what I mean?
To be fair, that didn't take very long. Look at
Yeah, I know, but still,
it's
though,
like Mick Jagger.
It does. It does. Their narrative events that they're doing are very, very poorly done. Like they're not good at all. The arms dealer event, as terrible as that was much, much better than the narrative events that we're getting. It sucks that you have all the challenges locked. You have to complete one challenge at a time. And not only that, they're putting the challenges behind a specific time period where you have to wait for that challenge to be unlocked. So you're still creating this false sense of grinding that your community has to go through in order to unlock these secondhand things that weren't good enough to be put into a battle pass. I mean, and if they were really proud of them, they would be selling them. So they're just throwing them into a narrative event that's terrible, right? So that's kind of how I feel about that. Next up, they're doing a new feature for weekly contracts. We've heard our core players about some lacking elements in our engagement and more opportunities for rep and or rewards. In this update, we'd like to introduce weekly contracts. With this feature, players will be given a set of 5 challenging contracts every Tuesday. Each contract will award the player with an amount of reputation for completing them, and if they complete all 5 within the week, they will receive a reward supply drop as well. Remember, you have before the next Tuesday to complete all 5, so get out there and have fun. We hope that this feature will challenge our players and give them more goals to work towards. Let us know what you think of this feature and its challenges. So we already have daily challenges. We have seasonal challenges. They're introducing weekly challenges or weekly contracts into the game. And it's cool that they're lumping in a supply drop, a reward supply drop for completing all 5 of them.
Did something happen? Did I miss something?
With what?
Can't hear anybody.
Really? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Garbo?
I can hear y'all now.
Okay.
Okay.
Literally for
That
a
was
whole
weird.
minute there. For a whole minute there, it was just like quiet.
Now, he'd been
on my
talking,
end.
and then you said that, and I was like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah, I was like, can I hear y'all? I can't hear y'all, dude. I didn't hear anything. Like he was talking, and then all of a sudden it just like mute. It just went real quiet. All right, I'm good.
But yeah, they're introducing 5 challenges to complete weekly. They're doing reward supply drops as the reward for completing those. And I mean, like I said, we have daily contracts and seasonal contracts. The weekly contracts are going to have to be a good mixture of those two. I'm assuming you're not going to be able to roll those like you do the daily contracts. And I'm interested to see what challenges they actually put in there to make it kind of fulfilling for a weekly contract. I mean, it can't be 2,500 damage. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a game of strikeout. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to do something very interesting. But, I mean, at least they're working towards some type of contracts for people that are actively seeking them out. And you're going to be able to complete them at the same time, and they're going to give you reputation. Hopefully they'll give you a decent amount of reputation along with the reward supply drops. So we'll see how that goes. I got on PTS to see if they had examples of what these were, and they're not on there. So I don't know. There's no way for us to comment on really what they're going to be like because we don't know. So
Broken. They're
yeah,
gonna be broken.
yeah, I can see
just
that. Yeah. So quick play changes. Quick play is quickly becoming a popular queue with our player base. Learning this, we are refining our quick play queue to be ever changing throughout the 2.8 patch. Every Tuesday, our quick play queue will have some mixture of 4 of the following game modes: Battlezone, 4v4 TDM, King of the Hill, Dodgeball Extraction, and Strikeout 2.0. So it makes sense why Battlezone, King of the Hill, Dodgeball, and Extraction are part of these quick play queues. Strikeout 2.0. Let's talk about this for a second. Here's exactly what I think about Strikeout 2.0. I think they created Strikeout 2.0 on the hopes that the community would embrace Strikeout 2.0 so that they could rotate it into the game as like a standard game mode. The community was like, this sucks because it's TDM. And they spent all this time, and they spent however much money on paying the person to do new voiceover work specifically for Strikeout 2.0. So it feels like they needed to do something with it because they spent so much money on it. So they're going to lump it into quick play. Yay. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. It feels like it feels like the developers feel cheated because it was something. It's kind of like Battlezone. They spent all this time on it. They did all this work on it. Nobody really liked it, and they've got to find something to do with it because they've invested everything into it, and they just kind of crammed it into quick play. And like 4v4 TDM, like we have a 6v6 TDM queuable game mode. Why do we need a 4v4 in quick play? We already have a 6v6, and also like 4v4 TDM on the regular maps is terrible. If they're going to do 4v4 TDM, they need to do skirmish TDM and have it on the skirmish map so that it feels like it's a little bit more fast paced than it currently feels with the bigger maps. But I am excited to see Dodgeball Extraction and King of the Hill. Like at least half of them are good. Next up, we have a Fixer rework. We're getting a complete Fixer rework in this update. So his thermal vision, in addition to seeing thermal signatures of his enemies, Fixer now has white hot precision zones from the chest high all the way up to the top of the enemy's head. Hitting the white hot precision zones awards bonus damage while the ability lasts. Fixer's passive has been reworked into Full Metal Jacket. Fixer's firearm damage now ignores enemy armor. Our two goals with this rework were to give Fixer a more clearly defined role or niche and give thermal vision an upside that allows you to benefit from it even if your smoke grenade is on cooldown. So I went into the shooting range and I did some tests with Fixer, with crack shot, without crack shot, and I will insert that footage over all of this. But basically, they don't really explain in this write-up if this is something that is percentage-based or something that is kind of static across the board. So I hopped into the shooting range to kind of get an idea. And from the experience that I had, it's very much percentage-based. It's a percentage-based damage increase. Then you also have crack shot, which is a percentage-based damage increase of 15%. So 15% plus whatever the percentage for this is, plus the normal headshot damage that you get, is absolutely insane. Like, it's unnecessary for Fixer to have these changes, and it's going to make him very much a broken character with any weapon that he picks. Like, for him to have the sniper rifle and do this, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you're one-tapping people anyway, right? That's the reason that snipers in the game exist, and that's fine. That's the role that they fill. That's the niche that they fill. But you're going to give him access to DMRs. You're going to give him access to the revolver. You're going to give him access to other weapons that you are absolutely going to be able to 100% abuse with this combination of the ability and crack shot. I don't think that this is a good idea. And I think that they're going to have to do something to nerf this in the future. And the suggestion that I made to nerf this going forward is to remove Crackshot as a legendary perk, because that 15% damage increase to headshots with the ability, with the DMRs and the revolver, is going to make him terrible to play against in every form of the word. And I think that his ability has a 45-second cooldown, if I'm not mistaken. So he's going to be able to crack this thing a couple of times during a round of demolition. It's going to feel really bad. And then with the passive ability, Full Metal Jacket, like, it makes sense, you know, in this write-up that they did, they explained that, like, shrapnel rounds is kind of jarring. You know, that makes sense because it is kind of jarring. If you're sniping and you hit a body shot on someone, they're moving slower than you're going to be anticipating, so you're going to miss those shots. That makes sense. But to put a character in the game without creating a new character to negate armor feels like you're wasting a really, really good passive ability on a character that already exists, and you've buffed him so many times that he's going to be completely overpowered at this point. I don't understand, man. What do you guys think about this this Fixer change?
I'm not so worried about it with the sniper rifles, just like you said. But yeah, if you pair him with a better DMR than he has, say, what's the one that Umbra has?
The Bishop?
Yeah, you give him the Bishop or the Mamba, and he's going to be tearing shit up.
Yeah.
I mean, put him with a Devotion.
Or even the Revolver, like you said, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be insane. I mean, I don't like any of the changes. I think they just need to stop messing with Fixer. Like, Fixer's been an OP character the whole time anyway, with them also constantly fixing the tier, fixing his glasses. Now they're altering his stuff again.
I feel like they've done more work to him than any other rogue.
Any other character, and they keep doing these changes where they keep talking about, oh, I don't want him, we don't want him to be broken, and then they do things exactly that to make him broken, and I feel like this is going to make him broken. I also don't.
He's already sitting in a good place, honestly.
Yeah, you can be very strategical with him. He has a place. You can do a lot with him. People just don't know how to exploit his abilities, and that's why it's such a big deal that they have to keep changing him because people don't know how to work with him.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny that the community as a whole decided to kind of put Fixer's viability specifically around Gunsmith when they did the perk reworks.
And that's stupid.
Yeah, they said that he was a broken character because Gunsmith made the tier 3 shot as opposed to a 2 shot. But the reality of the situation is Fixer was good whenever they reworked all the perks because he got padded steps and a couple other perks that were really, really good as a non-sniper type character. If you're going to run...
Like Fixer.
Exactly, yes. If you're going to run Fixer as a sniper, he's going to play just like every other sniper in the game. He's going to feel like Phantom. He's going to feel like Runway. And he also, by default, has access to the SMG pistol. I mean, the Warrant. So he feels like a normal sniper. Where Fixer shines, in my opinion, is the same way that Phantom shines, in my opinion. It's where you put their passive abilities, you put their non-sniping playstyle in your hands, and they become something completely different and something very impactful on the battlefield other than just another sniper character.
I agree. And dude, those smokes are clutch, man. Being able to smoke one lane down and being able to see through that lane while your team moves through is clutch. Either when you run DMR or sniper rifles.
Exactly.
Shit, the Warren itself. I mean, like shit.
Not to mention the fact that he's the only one that has access to that cluster smoke. And that cluster smoke, whenever you upgrade it all the way, can
It covers a big radius.
Exactly.
It's massive.
It can cover almost the entire one side of the ship on Glacier by itself.
The whole plant site.
Yes, it is crazy. Like having that push potential with a character that can actually see through that, especially in like a ranked or competitive environment. That's why we saw so many Fixers being played during the RCCS spring summer series. I mean, it was almost every single match you were guaranteed that someone was going to pick the Fixer up. They were going to run Fixer with the Mamba or with the MXR or the D3DI. And then they were just going to get in there and use the perks and use the passive ability and everything and create a nice synergy of this lethal character that you can't run away from. Once you hit somebody with Fixer, you can't get away from him. He's going to hunt you down. He's faster than you are at that point. He's got padded steps, so you're not going to see him on the flank. Like it's crazy. And people see like Phantom is associated with the long body, right? Fixer is associated with the tier. So when your normal average Rogue Company player thinks of Fixer, they think specifically of tier, they think specifically of sniping, and they don't really put all the pieces together in their head that's like, oh, he makes a really, really, really good defender in this way, or a really good attacker in this way, or a really good flanker in this way. You can kind of build that character several different ways and still benefit from him. I feel like they missed the opportunity because in this write-up here, they said that with the introduction of perk rarity, we saw an increase in both the magnitude and availability of armor. You're the ones who created that problem. You're the developers. Yep. You created the armor problem, right?
Yep.
So to me, what it sounds like is instead of creating a character that is your armor destroyer, of someone that their sole mission in Rogue Company is to obliterate armor on the map. And that to me sparks so much creativity for a character that has gadgets that reduces or diminishes or completely erases armor, has abilities that completely erases armor, has like all this stuff kind of baked into his kit as a whole to make him that hard counter against a trench with legendary armor, against an anvil with legendary armor. You can kind of couple that with maybe this same character, maybe one of the abilities or passive abilities negates the entire toughness system. So you're hitting everybody as if they have a level 1 toughness as opposed to a level 5 toughness. That's your hard counter to those characters. You don't just say, you know what we're missing? We're missing somebody to combat all this armor that we put into the game. So we're going to make Fixer be that person. It's lazy. It's absolutely lazy on the developer side.
It's absolutely insane that armor is still an issue.
Yeah.
I don't feel like armor is ever an issue when I'm playing. That's not the reason I get killed.
Well, and the thing about it is like you can't repair the armor. So the
It doesn't
idea,
do it.
exactly. So the idea of them changing the rarities and changing the armor values in game is so that you can recognize that you're playing against those characters. You can see that they have that armor, and your job is to whittle that armor down as much as humanly
Get
possible.
rid of it.
Yeah, before you get into a gunfight with this person. If that takes incendiary grenades, frag grenades, abilities, or regular gunshots, you're going to want to whittle away as much armor an anvil has while they're barreling after you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not our fault, and it's not the rest of the community's fault that you have people that are just hopping into TDM and getting absolutely annihilated by characters with armor because people don't fundamentally understand the fact that they can't repair that armor. So once that armor is gone, it's completely gone off of that character. Like armor versus bulletproof wins every single time.
Yeah. Well, dude, pretty soon you'll be able to upgrade it probably. Legendary bulletproof, legendary armor.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What's the shots though? What's the
I mean, that's
other perk you
Anvil.
can buy? To
Shredder
rip the
rounds.
armor? Shredder rounds. Legendary shredder rounds. Let's go.
Yeah.
On everybody.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. Like I feel like this is the laziest way for them to make Fixer a good character because he's already a good character.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
he's already a good
already
character.
character. Yeah.
There's
There's nothing wrong with him.
No. They've been trying so hard to make Fixer a viable character since he was introduced. And I felt like when they redesigned all the perks in the game and gave 2 additional perks to all the characters and gave different rarities of perks, he was in a perfect spot. From that point moving forward, he was perfect. You're the ones that classified him as a defender. If he doesn't fill that defender role or niche, then change his classification, change his perks up a little bit, make him a duelist or something. You know what I mean?
I don't understand why they took sniper out still. It
Yeah.
makes sense to have a sniper classification.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've got 3 sniper characters and possibly more in the future.
Yeah. It's
We only have 4 columns. We can't.
Yeah, right. It's the same with Intel. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what happened with that? It makes sense to have. I don't know, man.
4 columns.
Yeah.
What is God damn it! I forgot his name. Aaron, but
Seeker?
Justin, whatever. His fucking. Yeah, what is he now?
Support.
I
How?
don't think he fills a support role.
No.
I don't think Runway fills a support role.
No.
If we're talking about people filling the roles, there's other people that you can do things to outside of Fixer, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we only got 2 supports, really.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like make it where when Runway throws her fucking briefcase out, anyone within that small area gets a heal or something.
Yeah, right. Give her the healing things from fucking Battlezone.
Somebody,
Ooh.
those would be perfect as to have like as a thing for anyone to have as their ability, where they could throw, let's say, 3 of those down in the match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. I mean, if they took away Simtex and gave those and trip mines to her, then she would feel like a proper support character. But no, they're going to do more to fix her. And in the process, they're going to just completely break Fixer. Like, I already see what's going to happen here. They're going to release the update with no changes. People are going to start running Fixer, Revolver, D3DI, Ability, Crackshot, and they're just going to be 1-tapping or 2-tapping people all over the damn map. I mean, when you can two-tap a anvil because it's going to ignore armor.
Ignore the armor? Yeah.
Yes. You know how many people are going to be fucking livid?
Or fucking Mac mains? Like,
I'm already
that's gonna be
mad.
fucking livid, dude.
And
Yeah,
we're not even playing it yet.
exactly. Right. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's unnecessary. Stop getting killed by an anvil main, bro.
Yeah. Right.
But it's like Fixer, that's the one. Out
Yeah.
of all the rows.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be the one?
Fixer?
Yeah.
Didn't you just fix him?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, we got to make him better, you know?
They're not paying him as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
What, bro? you also have a list of like rogues now instead of like 7 when you started the game.
Yeah.
You
Some
just
people
have
don't
more
like
rogues.
sniping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or some snipers are better than others. So, not truly. I think all 3 of them are good in their own rights. So,
Yeah, right. So next up, we have a quality of life improvement for Chaac. For Chaac, his passive was meant to give him incredible survivability while down, anything to help give him the time he needs to either self-revive or to be revived. For the longest time, there was a friction point in his passive where, while being revived, he could not dodge roll. This often felt worse when a revive came his way unprompted with the Saint Drone or with a Dahlia res. So in this update, while having come back around and smooth this out so that he can now use the dodge roll while down part of his passive while being revived. Happy rolling Chaac means. So when Chaac's down, he has 150 HP as soon as he goes down. He can revive himself if you still have the ability, and you can also roll while you're down. He's like one of the only characters that has 3 passive abilities kind of rolled into one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if you start reviving yourself, or if you start getting healed by the drone or the Dahlia res, and you were in the process of getting into cover, it almost stops you in your tracks because you're not very fast moving after that. And it felt bad. And it felt bad because you're not expecting those revives to start to happen. Or if you're trying to trigger Chaac's ability and he goes down, then it starts automatically reviving him whenever he goes down. Now he's going to be able to roll around while he's down. Why wasn't this introduced with the character to begin with? Because now we have to learn a whole new thing about Chaac while we're playing against him. Like, we're going to go up to try to get that down while he's reviving, and he's going to be fucking rolling all over the place.
All over the place, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to be trying to basically shoot a fish flopping around on the ground.
Yeah. Full Lancer.
Yeah. So good luck. You know?
Well, here's what I imagine. Like, you know how when someone will put the Saint drone on you and then it'll get shot and it'll destroy? I just picture him rolling and his foot hits it and it's gone. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, I thought I was reviving
you. It's a bug. I don't know. Maybe you won't stand up and run in place anymore when you're being revived. Like,
I've seen that. Yep.
Yeah.
That happened to me a couple times.
And then if you're doing that and you do the roll, what is that going to look like? Like a running in place roll Chaac. Like, oh, I don't even know. I don't even know what to think about that. You know what I mean? But yeah, this should have been something, in my opinion, that was introduced whenever the character was first introduced. And I guess the reason why they didn't want to introduce it then was because maybe because of the time to kill, it would have give him an unfair advantage because the time to kill was a little bit slower at that time. But it seems to me that they had this TTK change planned in the bag for quite a while after the closed beta started happening. So they should have just went ahead and inserted it into there as quickly as they possibly could, you know? So last up here, we have the Battlezone shop update. So with Battlezone becoming more of a staple in our quick play queue, we want to get under its hood and figure out if we can further improve and enhance the gameplay experience with a new shop experiment. We've changed the shop in a way that we hope gives the player more agency and customization over their shop decisions as they deal with an ever-changing match. Players will have access to a wider range of perks, ones that can be further invested into to make them even stronger. Additionally, if you're the type to not give in to chance, you can purchase a select few weapons and come into the zone more confident with your loadout. Take this new shop for a spin in Battlezone and give us your feedback. So I took the image that was actually part of the update, saved it, and tried to blow it up and make it as clear as possible, even though they used the lowest size image possible for this.
It's
and
tiny.
And as you can see here, not only do you have all of the perks given to you just straight out of the gate, you can buy the perk and you can upgrade it from a rare to an epic or from an epic to a legendary perk. You also have the ability to pick up one of 8 primary weapons if you want to. You have pistol mastery, so you're able to swap your pistols. You can also purchase melee weapons now, and also gadgets. You have access to 8 gadgets, so I'm assuming that they're taking out the ability to change, like to purchase multiple gadgets in around a battle zone. So the perk, I'll start off strong here. The perk change is not a bad change in my opinion. And honestly, this is something that I think that they should have done to the game as a whole whenever they were making the perk changes to the game to begin with. Like me personally, that's what I think. Because if you're going to give someone access to 8 perks, and you're not going to predetermine their slots, and you're going to let the players determine what slots that those perks fill by using the economy, I feel like it would balance things out way more and also provide a more interesting playing experience while you're in game. Because if you take someone like Lancer, for example, you can buy padded steps and there's no reason to upgrade padded steps because there's nothing else that it can do. So always have it at this specific price point, but it fill this specific perk slot. So let's say that it's $8,000 and it fills one of your epic perk slots or legendary perk slots if you really wanted to go crazy with it. But let's say Life Drain, for example. Let's say that you want the rare version of Life Drain, so you spend $8,000 on that. Let's say that you want the epic version of Life Drain. You got to spend an additional $5,000 to get the epic version. Then if you want the legendary, you have to spend an additional $5,000. So at that point, you're spending $18,000 over the course of several matches to upgrade it, as opposed to just saving a round or two, having enough money to purchase that, and be almost completely unkillable in the process. So I feel like that's not a bad change, and that's also a change that I feel could be brought over into the rest of the game, especially some of the respawn modes, because you really don't get a lot of cash in those respawn modes until later in the rounds. So that would be something that could actually bring the playing field level and actually make it something that is skill based as opposed to perk based and or utility based at that point.
There's something missing from that screen.
What, padded steps?
Spend it or lose it.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Not on there.
Yeah,
where's that
right.
at? Usually says that.
Yeah,
not on there.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if Battlezone's going to allow you to carry money over from round to round once they make this change. I mean, it would. If they did, it would make sense, and it's stupid that they introduced that to begin with. I should be able to save $1,500 because I don't find anything that I really need in the next round to be able to.
Ass, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Let me manage the economy the way that I want to. Don't force me to spend this money because it's going away. But the main thing that I have an issue here with is the ability to purchase primary weapons. You're going to develop a game mode that is supposed to mirror a more condensed version of a battle royale experience. You release this game mode, and it is the premier game mode for Rogue Company. You make a trailer for it, you make splash art for it, you talk about it ad nauseum for weeks on end before it's introduced into the game. This was supposed to be the one thing that just changed everything, that was going to bring all these new players into it. Now you're getting rid of the most crucial part of that experience, which is actually dropping into the game, looting boxes to try to find the best weapons that you're comfortable with, and surviving as long as you possibly can. So you're going to take that core gameplay experience out of it, but continue to call it Battlezone, but to continue to try to make this faux battle royale experience out of it. Because some players don't like to loot boxes and they're not confident with the weapons.
So go play something else.
Exactly.
There's so many other game modes where you get to choose your weapons. That, like, the whole point of Battlezone was to be kind of like a mini battle royale where you got to go in, you got to loot, and you got to kind of deal with what you pick up.
Exactly.
It forces me to be better with the guns I pick up. I got a couple headshot snipes the other night. I'm not great with a sniper, and I was forced to pick one up, and it worked.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. And if they're wanting to try to mirror the success that Apex Arenas had, right? So Apex Arenas is a 3v3 single life game mode where you can purchase your weapons between rounds. You can purchase upgrades for your weapons. You also have to purchase abilities. You also have to purchase everything, healing, everything. if you're wanting to mirror that Apex Arenas experience, then fully commit to it or don't. Either shit or get off the pot at this point, because this faux battle royale, because we already know what's going to happen. You're going to have people that are going to drop in the first time. They're going to save all their money. The next time that the round rolls around, everybody's going to buy primary weapons, and they're going to be headhunting. While you and your team are spending your money on gadgets and perks, like the way that the game mode is intended to be played. And while you're trying to loot boxes, you're going to get gunned down from across the map with a fucking KA-30 or with a fucking LMPX or with a Sahara or something.
Maxed out too.
Yeah, exactly.
You can level it up. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that to me doesn't make sense. And leveling it up, like the way that the crates on Battlezone work is the first time that you drop in, it's all uncommon crates. All the crates are green. They're all uncommon. Then the next round that you drop in, they're rare. So you drop in and you have rare versions of the weapons. Then you have the epic version. It slowly builds this momentum up to the more powerful weapons. Then you have the mythic crates that spawn in. But you're going to allow players to not only buy their weapons, but also upgrade their weapons in the process? What is the point?
The games are going to get shorter.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Get what they want, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you're going to get a lot more people. Like it used to be, everyone would land. They would all have to take time to grab a box and move up.
Yeah.
You're going to get a team just pushing in your shit as soon as you hit the ground now.
push that mythic with our guns.
Grab the metal weapons.
Let's go. Oh, there's a box. Let me grab a little secondary. Oh, sniper rifle.
Yeah.
You'll just have people vying for the mythics, and that's all that anyone will even try to fucking do.
Exactly. And see, that's one of the things where it kind of balanced it out. It still felt really bad. It still was kind of a stupid idea the way that they did the circles. But like whenever you have the circle, let's say the circle doesn't favor you and it favors the enemy team, and you're like across the map looting boxes, you have to rotate into the enemy to be able to try to survive that zone. And the one redeeming factor with that is you're going to rotate into the enemy that doesn't know how you're going to be rotating into that zone, but also they're going to be a couple of players on that team that are going to have weapons that they're going to be uncomfortable with, or that doesn't provide them the range that they need in order to be successful, like shotguns and things like that. That's not going to happen anymore. As soon as that circle appears, this team can legitimately load up at every doorway that leads into that zone and just gun everybody down as soon as they start rotating into that area. It's going to feel so bad, man.
Bad zone.
Yes. Like 50% of this change to me makes sense. The perks make sense. They need to take some of the perks out, in my opinion. Like they need to get rid of armor. Like that needs to be something that is just box dependent. They need to like restrict the power of some of these, like legendary life drain. You know what I'm saying? Like in a mode that doesn't have health regeneration, but you're going to put a perk in there that's going to almost full heal someone when they get it down. Take that out or give us health regeneration. Pick one of the two, you know?
Like the toughness. You got these squishy characters. We'll give them all armor. Legendary armor. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, man, this is a misguided attempt at trying to make Battlezone a little bit more tolerable, when in reality, I feel like the problem that players have going into Battlezone is the fact that they don't know what the game mode is. They don't know how to play the game mode. And as soon as they land and they hit a box, then they're under the assumption like, oh, this is what I have now. And if I pick up two shotguns out of one box, then I'm just stuck with this. And then they're like, oh, there's other boxes over here, blah, blah, blah. Like they don't know how to play the game mode. It's been a very long time since Battlezone was introduced. And it's been a very long time since Battlezone was a core game mode in the game itself. How about explaining how to play this to these people as opposed to trying to pacify these people because they're not having a good experience playing Battlezone? That's
like every mode.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every single Battlezone mode or game that I've played since Quick Plays come out, there's been at least one player, if not multiple players, leave it because it seems like they're frustrated with the game mode.
As soon as they die.
Yeah.
Gone.
I think you could have made one simple change to how it was now, and it would make it just a little bit more tolerable. And that's well, two changes. Say two. You make the money carry over from round to round, and give every rogue access to that little healing thing.
Why
Yes.
not regen your health?
Because
Could do that.
that's only for the healing people. Like the supports are the only ones that are allowed to carry it. Let everyone have it, and then just that's one of my biggest issues is that if you say you win 2 gunfights and you're at 10, there's no way you're winning another gunfight. There's no way.
No. Even if they put delayed health regeneration into the game, it would feel better than what the game currently feels like. It sucks when you narrowly escape the zone and you down someone in the process, just to run into 2 motherfuckers that have been sitting in zone the entire time with light machine guns waiting for your ass to come around the corner,
Or the zone comes in and cleans you up. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I just beat 2 people.
Yeah. It's like there's no reward for playing the game mode, and then before you even get a good momentum in the game, it's over. It's completely over. Not knowing where that zone is whenever you drop in, if they would make that change to where you knew where the zone was, that way you could see where the boxes were and start rotating into that zone a little bit sooner, that would help out a lot too.
That's the thing about BRs, dude. You have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You know where it's headed. And here it's like, good luck, go.
Yeah.
Just figure it out.
Yeah, man, there's so much that they could do. And I like this statement here. We want to get under its hood and figure out if we can further improve and enhance the gameplay experience. Yeah, you can, but this isn't the way to do it. This is definitely not the way to do it. And my thing is if people are not enjoying Battlezone that much, take it out of quick play.
Please.
I was so happy not ever having to see that game mode ever again, and then you put it in quick play. Now we have to tolerate it. Good thing that we can get through a match of Battlezone in about 3.5 minutes once the entire enemy team leaves. But hey,
and now that we have to tolerate it, they're going to make it a worse game mode.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's like. I didn't think you can make it worse, and Tyrez was like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, it's like
wrong.
What's the shortest distance between 2 points?
A line.
What's the shortest distance between making a good game mode according to high res?
A squiggle.
Exactly. It's like Langston fucking Gap over here, baby.
Oh.
And guess what happened
Langston
to that?
Gap attached directly to Sylvania Gap.
Yeah. And guess what happened to Langston? That bitch is falling in, and they ain't no fucking Department of Transportation going to fix it. So,
the rock's still there.
But that is the Walking Dead update notes that we currently have for Rogue Company. We do have some very questionable changes coming with this update, such as the fixer, rework, and also the Battlezone changes. But I do feel like that there will be a Walking Dead hotfix that will hopefully address some of these problem issues once they fully realize how out of hand all of this can get. Because I think Fixer is going to be a fucking snowball. It's going to be like the Arbitrator Lancer combo all over again. Once people realize how strong this dude is, he's going to be in every single match, and he's going to be just a force to be reckoned with.
Hi-Rez, don't you put that evil on us. They're going to do it though, right?
Every update, they're testing us, dude. Every update. So on the heels of that, I wanted to talk about the Walking Dead bundles and supply drops real quick because it had its own separate post. So this is what it had to say. Hi, Rogues. We're very excited to finally reveal our latest crossover. Our team worked closely with the Walking Dead team to deliver incredible new content that captures the essence of this iconic comic book series. Did you capture the essence? We'll get into that in just a second.
Nixon.
With this update, we will have 7 bundles in the store that players can buy through direct purchase or through a new Walking Dead supply crate to show off their inner survivor. To celebrate this crossover at launch, we'll discount these bundles by 25%, and you can purchase them for 1,500 Rogue Bucks for a limited time. You can also purchase these bundles through a new Walking Dead supply drop, which will be available during this update. This new supply drop will only have the Walking Dead bundles listed below. We have implemented a system to prevent excess supply purchases for the Walking Dead. These supply drops have also been discounted and can be purchased in the store for 1,000 Rogue Bucks at launch. Similar to our other supply drops, these bundles have an equal chance to drop and will not give you bundles that you already own. So we're getting the Rick skin, which is the Dallas skin, and Rick's Mythic Pistol weapon wrap. What's one of the most iconic things about The Walking Dead, specifically Rick?
The Python 357 revolver.
But
Which just happened to be what Dallas uses, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he has a revolver.
The exact revolver that Dallas
did they
uses is the
change it?
357. Yeah. They made it a 50 Desert Eagle.
Why?
Which, yeah, sure, Rick probably uses that at some point in the comic for some fight, but he has his revolver.
Yeah. I mean, they worked really closely with the Walking Dead team to deliver incredible new content that captures the essence of the iconic comic book series, guys. They really dropped the ball with that one.
I really think they really dropped the ball with that one.
Yeah. Next
Well,
up.
We got guns that reload on the wrong side, so.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Demas skin, which is Negan, and the Lucille Mythic weapon wrap. For Michonne, it is a Lancer skin and Michonne's Katana Mythic weapon wrap. A Lancer will be included if unowned, so if you don't own Lancer and you buy this skin bundle, then you will get Lancer. The team also created these bundles in their classic black and white form to pay homage to The Walking Dead's history when it initially launched in 2003. So we do have black and white versions of all of these skins as well. Last but certainly not least, we will also have the Walking Dead cosmetics bundle that will include a range of cosmetics like emotes, weapon wraps, and a wingsuit themed after the comic book series. So, this is insane because they have, they say 7 bundles. So there's 7 bundles that they're going to be bringing into the game, right? And these bundles are going to be, 1,500 Rogue Bucks a piece?
That's exactly, discounted by the way, but yeah.
So that's $15. And if you wanted to get all of them, you're spending $105 to get every single Walking Dead item that they have. What?
Excuse me? Yeah,
like it's like I'm flabbergasted. Like,
yeah, man. Fuck the banners.
Yes. Yeah.
And the emotes. We didn't even see what those look like.
No, not at all. And my thing is like, if I'm going to spend $1,500 for a skin and also a mythic weapon wrap, why not include the black and white versions with them? Because you're going to get a lot of people that aren't, and we've seen it online on Twitter and Reddit where people are like, man, these black and white skins look terrible. I prefer the black and white skins.
I'm going for that over the other one.
Yeah, I prefer those over the colored ones because it's true to the comic book, of course. But a lot of people aren't going to want those. So you're going to have a lot of bundles sitting around not being sold. You're probably going to be sitting around with a lot of bundles that are not going to be sold anyway. Because it's The Walking Dead, but it's the comic version of The Walking Dead. To me, it feels like they probably should have explained why they went with the comic book version of this in the update show to provide a little context to people, because the amount of people that are asking why did they go with the comic book versions as opposed to the show versions of it. And then whenever you start explaining to these people, well, you have to pay likeness rights for, to the individual that plays this character. Oh, okay. So as a quick crash course, real quick, guys, the Walking Dead bundles will inevitably come back at some point because it is something that is going to be easily licensed through Image and Walking Dead. I think they licensed this through Robert Kirkman LLC. And I think that Robert Kirkman owns the rights to The Walking Dead, but the producer or the production company was Image, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Our company, yeah.
yeah, so the LLC that owns this is Robert Kirkman, which would have an easier chance of relicensing this in the future to release limited version, like limited time drops for these skins in the future. When it comes to something like the Rambo skin, I don't think that's ever going to come back again because you're having to pay for the likeness of Sylvester Stallone. So if you didn't get that then you're probably not going to get it again. It's the same thing with the Dr. Disrespect bundle. If you didn't get the Dr. Disrespect bundle when they dropped it in the past, they probably have to renegotiate the terms of that with Dr. Disrespect every time that they put that into the game because it's Dr. Disrespect, his likeness. So that's
the
how
price usually goes up.
Yeah. So that's how this works. Like likeness rights is very expensive. So it makes sense why they went with a comic book route. I understand that. You guys understand that. A 14-year-old in his bedroom doesn't understand rights and laws and dollar value associated with those things. So it might have been a good idea for your team to explain to the community why you went with the comic book versions of them as opposed to the show versions of them. Because when I look at these, I'm like, oh, it's the Walking Dead skins, the original faithful Walking Dead skins. Whenever 14-year-old Joe Bob in his bedroom sees them, oh, these are Walking Dead knockoff skins. No.
What is this bullshit?
Not Rick.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is Rick.
Yeah. So
And
this
that is Richard Nixon.
Yeah, it is, right?
Man.
It's crazy, you know. But see, it's little transparency things like this that the developers could actually put out there into the world to actually do more good than harm, because you have a lot of people that are questioning it and raising hell about it when they don't fully understand the extent of it. So I think this is a lesson in transparency. It sucks that it sucks that you have me and other people and also this podcast that are out here explaining how rights work to things whenever you could come out and say these things. You can't sit there and assume that the entire community as a whole is going to understand what copyright and likeness rights are like. So, yeah.
You're honestly lucky we do.
Yeah.
To just tell people. And we only understand the small bits of it.
Yeah. We understand
not
that.
copyright lawyers.
Yeah. We're not She-Hulk. So last up here, we have a post on the Rogue Company Twitter page from October the 7th at 2:02 p.m. that says, "Thank you to everyone for being a part of the Rogue Company community and your patience as we address some issues with last update. Between now and November the 4th, log in to receive 20,000 Battle Pass experience and 1 Rogue supply drop."
I got 2.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
One was a common, just a,
Yeah.
you know, it was green when it was opening. The other one, I got that Fixer blade skin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I
dude.
logged in, dude, had 2 of them. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah. That's it's kind of funny because like I saw this and like when you log on, it doesn't tell you like, hey, we're sorry about the fuck up with Formal Affairs update.
No.
Here's 20,000 Battle Pass experience and a Rogue supply drop. You just have it. So I went from like level 20 something of the Battle Pass to like 45.
Yeah.
If I would have been finished with the Battle Pass, I would be fucking livid that this is their way of trying to be like, we're sorry, guys. We're
I didn't
sorry.
even think about that.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, you get a Rogue supply drop that, yeah, I mean, you can buy with reputation. So
And there's people that are finished.
oh, yeah, I know.
We know some. They're done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's a good thing for like your casual player, but for your hardcore player, you probably just made them even more mad. And if you really wanted to apologize for how screwed up the Formal Affair update really was, maybe bundle those Walking Dead bundles a little bit differently so that we feel more inclined to purchase one of them. I don't know, man. See, I was hoping for best case scenario when they announced the Walking Dead stuff. I'm like, maybe they'll do, a couple of different versions of the skin and maybe make some of them purchasable with reputation or give some of them to the community because of the Formal Affair fiasco that happened. Nope. $1,500 or 1,500 rogue bucks per one, and there's 7 of them, baby.
Or you could take a chance on the
Yeah.
supply drops. You're like, I'm gonna spend this much money and you don't get nothing you wanted. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
All I got was banners.
Here's what's crazy too, man. If I spend $1,000 on that Walking Dead supply drop and it doesn't give me 2 things whenever I open it as a gamble, and it just gives me 1 thing when I could spend $5 more to get what I wanted, that's
you're better off to buy what you want.
Exactly. That's grounds for uninstalling it. You know what I'm saying?
Just go buy it.
Yeah.
Don't buy the supply drops. It's a trap.
Yeah, I mean.
Because then you just keep going.
Yeah.
Almost like you're gambling at that point. What am I going to get?
So essentially,
packs.
Each bundle comes with 2 things. You get the skin and you get a mythic weapon wrap. So you're essentially paying 750 rogue bucks per item, or you can pay $1,000 for a single item. Ugh. Like they're really trying to screw the pooch on this supply drop thing with The Walking Dead, right?
That's doo-doo.
Yeah, unless it has 2 things per spin in it, they're screwing everybody in a big way. Like, holy
All I
shit.
want is the skins. I don't.
Yeah.
Fuck the gun wraps or the. If that don't come with a skin, then I'm not getting it, Like,
yeah, exactly. Right.
What?
Exactly.
But yeah, man. So they give us 20,000 battle pass experience. They give us a rogue supply drop. And then you have a lot of people that are like, well, glad I didn't finish my battle pass. And then this guy's like, still need to buy the premium pass, but fuck yeah, word go devs. How's this go devs? Right here. Good start, but not enough. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, man, this Walking Dead update is going to be a lot like the rest of the updates. Like, there's no mention of bug fixes, of course. I wonder what kind of backdoor nerfs or buffs that they're going to slip in with this update. And I wonder between now and then, with all the PTS feedback that they get, if there'll be any changes that will be made to any of these things before it actually hits us. What do you guys think?
I mean, dude.
Anything good's gonna.
Go ahead, man.
I don't think anything real good's coming out of it. It's an underwhelming battle pass. It's underwhelming update. The skins are okay. I like the black and white skins a lot. I think that's pretty cool because the comic itself is black and white.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of that,
it's not the Halloween bash I thought I was going to get.
Nah, I thought we were going to get. I mean, it was cool that they got some licensed products, but it would have been, in my opinion, even cooler to just have a completely Halloween themed battle pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are
getting some really cool.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
They're going to drop some other skins.
Yeah, they're going to drop some
Dahlia one. They show a little teaser.
Yeah. So we're going to get the Dahlia skin. We're getting a Umbra Devil skin. We're getting a Glitch Jack-o'-lantern skin. We're getting a Vi Vampire-esque skin, which are
there were several PlayStation only skins.
Yeah, there was a couple of PlayStation and Xbox only exclusive skins that will be available to people as soon as they log in when the update goes up. So that's nice, But every single thing other than this bundle, these bundles for Walking Dead, are recolors of the original. Okay, the Jack-o'-lantern glitch skin is just a recolor with purple and orange on it, and his mask has the Jack-o'-lantern face.
Oh, I'm with you, man. The recolors are ridiculous. In most games, I hate that they just recolor shit and just instead of giving us a full skin.
Yeah. Like the recolor skins are the free skins that you get in most games. But in Rogue Company, nah, baby. You're paying for this bitch. All right, guys, this is the community section of the Unofficial Rogue Company Podcast. If you want to contribute in any way, you can hit us up on Twitter at Broguecast. You can shoot us an email, broguecast@gmail.com, or you can join the Discord. The link will be in the description down below. There is an area in the Discord called Broguecast Contributions, so you can put anything that you would like to see us discuss in the future in there. But first up, we're going to hit it off here with Sylvain Kiwi. All right, and they said something has to be done against levers in ranked. I don't know what is the lever penalty in ranked, but clearly it's not harsh enough. I have at least one lever every 4 matches, and with the ability to surrender still missing, it's really a joy. There's clearly no reason for this to be so frequent. Unlike cheaters or toxic players, you can easily automatically spot people leaving a game and punish them. It should be something like this. First offense, 1 hour. Second offense, 24 hours. Third offense, 1 week. Fourth offense, 1 month. And fifth offense, 6 months. And your offense level goes, and your offense level goes down 1 notch every month without leaving a game. Edit, something that was brought to my attention is that it's still impossible to rejoin a game after a crash. That should obviously be fixed first. So the surrender button has still been removed because the developers apparently don't know how to fix the exploit that was in the game with the Formula Fair update. So the easiest way that they could fix it was just completely remove it altogether. And okay, it's very frustrating when you're playing public matches and you have people that leave. But whenever you're playing ranked, whenever there's something at stake, something that you're going to gain or lose based off of that match, then it adds an extra level of frustration to that. And my thing is like, we already know they're not going to give any kind of like harsh punishments to people that are leaving games. That's just not going to be something that's going to happen. They're they're having a hard enough time bringing people into the game and staying, much less punishing people for bad behavior in game, right? So what I think that they should do in this particular situation, and I agree, it should be first offense an hour, second offense 24 hours, third offense 1 week. I mean, I like this breakdown. I don't know if we go
past third. That's
I mean, yeah,
6 months. Goddamn,
it gets a little heavy, man. But they'll kill their player base then.
Well, like you said, if you play, it's like you get tokens for playing. It'll take away from that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you play a bunch. Oh, you probably didn't mean to do that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, we've talked about this in the past a little bit, but like, it should be a 3-strike system, and after your 3rd strike, you should be out, and it should reset every time that they have a seasonal update. So every time they introduce a new battle pass, it should wipe everybody's, just like it wipes your rank stats, it should also wipe all of your offenses that you have for leaving matches. So if they wanted to put something in there where it's like an hour, then 24 hours, then a week, then a month, like you have 3 months for ranked. If you're getting rid of ranked for an entire month and that person is still leaving matches, then they shouldn't be able to queue into ranked until the next split or until the next season drops.
Yeah.
Like they should punish them in that way. And like, that's just the way that it should be. But also, if people leave matches in ranked, then it should astronomically decrease the amount of RP that you lose in that match. So if I'm playing and I'm losing on average of like 12 RP a match and I'm gaining somewhere around 20 RP a match for winning, if I lose the game, I'm a man down, it should only take away like 25% of what I would normally have taken away from my account. But if I win, being one person down, then it should like double what I would normally get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you introduced a system like that, then guess what would inevitably happen? You would have people exploiting the system by leaving the match right before the bomb is defused. You would have someone leave the game. That way, the 3 other people that are in that match could gain triple the reputation or triple the RP that they would normally gain. And then they would be at rank, or they would be rogue ranked in no time.
They just swap it out.
Exactly.
Tonight it's me, tomorrow it's you.
Yeah, exactly. And since now you only need a certain amount of rogues to be able to play ranked, then you could go in there, have multiple accounts, buy the rogue packs, and exploit it. Even if there was some type of offense or lever penalty for it, they could exploit it to get their main accounts all the way up to rogue. So it's a lose-lose situation all the way around. You're either going to get rid of your player base by giving them penalties for leaving the matches, which if they're leaving matches, fuck them, they shouldn't be allowed to play it. If you give less, or if you give more RP for winning or take away less RP for losing, then you're going to have people exploiting that system like crazy. So it's a lose-lose situation. There's no winning in that from the developer side other than putting your foot down, making a stand, and explaining to the community like this is an unacceptable behavior. And if it continues to happen, you're not going to have to worry about playing ranked because you're going to get a hardware ban.
Ooh.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Something they could do, man, is like sometimes your internet drops out.
Yes.
I don't want to be banned for fucking 24 hours because my internet cut out on me.
Yeah.
But if I leave a match and go back to the main menu and then try to join another one, it should be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You just left the game. What are you doing, Strike?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck out of here. You never disconnected.
Yeah. And
you
see
just left, try to join another game.
Yeah. And if this was like specifically for ranked, then you would still be able to queue in public matches. So you wouldn't be able to, not play the game outright. But like if they have a habitual history of leaving ranked matches, then they should have rank disabled on their account permanently.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, that's what should happen. Like the developers are going to have to put their foot down and decide, do we want to cater to the casual player base and allow them to run free and do whatever they want to? Or do we want the diehard players that enjoy playing this game to have a pleasurable experience? The ones that spend money, do you want them to continue to come back to the game? That's the question. That is the question. Do you want to
People
appeal?
leaving games, they buying shit, dude.
Exactly. 100% right. So
they don't ever have anything.
Yeah. So monetarily, yeah. What's going to make more sense in the long run? Pleasing the person that's spending money on your game and that's getting on your game, several times a week and playing your game, or the person that is just hopping into matches left, right, and center and leaving whenever it's not going their way. I'm sorry, but you can't give a participation trophy to everyone. It doesn't work that way. That's just how it is.
And we'll die on that hill.
Yes, absolutely. So next up, we have a post here by Ghost of Slickville. It's like every time we do Broguecast, we get more and more Ghost of Slickville contributions. But like this dude is on a game. Like I've talked to this person on Reddit and I'm like, dude, we use your content on Broguecast constantly. I love what you're doing over here. Keep doing it. The lag in this game is beyond frustrating. I know there's bugs and issues. It's something that many of us have unfortunately come to accept. But man, the lag rubber banding is beyond frustrating. No regs are at an all-time high for me. Running to cover and still downing. Been behind cover but still get hit due to my rogue's head clipping. Grenade and explosives not downing enemies until 1 or 2 seconds after they explode. I seriously hope the new update has some sort of stability fix because I'm genuinely on the edge of giving up on this game. Bugs, imbalances, and everything in between have become somewhat of a norm, and some have workarounds. But if I'm shooting somebody and they aren't receiving damage, then there's no hope, no redemption. I don't want to bail on this game, but for real, it's almost like everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Ghost of Slicksville, you are absolutely right. What cover? What cover?
Got shot behind the wall.
Yeah. What cover?
Regularly get shot
That
behind
happens
the
a
wall.
lot.
Yeah.
Kneel down. I understand that when you
Halfway
move,
down
you
the
can
wall.
clip someone's head, but
Yeah.
I'm not moving. I'm still getting
dude, behind
headshot.
the
What?
wall.
Yeah.
What you have to do now is you have to think about it. I don't know how much lag's here, but
Yeah.
you can't wait till you get just a few bullets. You got to be like, oh, got to go early. Because that's it.
You don't know when latency is going to get you.
That's why the shooting range is not a good way to test weapons.
Yeah.
No.
Because there's no lag.
Yeah.
You're in there by yourself. That's why they shoot faster.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, man, it sucks where like before, when the game actually ran good, you could peek someone, you could get about 25 HP, you could go into cover, you could heal up, then you can re-engage. Now, if you get anywhere close to 50 HP, you better get behind a wall or a piece of cover ASAP, because odds are you're going to be down before you even get around the corner. My favorite bug.
The key.
Yeah, that's the key. My favorite bug that I've been encountering here lately is if you're crouched behind medium cover or chest high cover and you swap shoulders, it forces your character to stand up and then squat back down. That's my favorite one. Me swapping shoulders while I'm behind a box or if I'm behind a piece of cover should in no way, shape, or form whatsoever cause my character to stand up and then squat right back down. And it didn't start happening until the most recent update. This Formal Affair update has been fantastic, man. I will say that. But I agree.
When I'm being rezzed or if I'm rezzing myself as Chaac, it immediately stands me up.
Yeah, right.
So
that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm behind cover to get rezzed, and then as soon as I get rezzed, I stand up, get headshot, and I'm right back down. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. And I understand, like, height that exists in the game. You know what I mean? I understand that like being above someone on a different plane makes sense.
That's different. Yeah.
When you can see someone, but if you're behind a piece of cover that you should be virtually invisible to someone, they should not be able to see any part of your body. Yet they're still shooting you and they're still hitting. Here's something that I noticed whenever I was watching the RCCS, and it took me a little while to understand this. Whenever players would be getting shot and then they would crouch and roll into the cover in front of them, they would immediately look all the way down, right? Like at the floor of the map, right? You know why they do that? Because I don't know if it's intentional or not, but if you're crouched and rolling and looking down, it causes your head to not clip above the cover.
That's genius.
That's exploiting the game. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's exploiting the game in a competitive environment, and nobody has done anything about that. Well, there's no competitive environment anymore, but...
yeah, I don't know why you had to,
Yeah, we're too busy putting on $150 tournaments now. I don't know. But if you have people doing that, and once more people learn that you can do that, and that keeps your head from clipping up behind cover. And this is something that I really want to test. If I look down, completely down, and if I move left to right behind cover, am I going to get shot in the top of the head, or am I not going to be peeking above that cover?
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
because your head would be slouched.
Looking down, dude. There's no little head there for you to see.
Yeah.
I think that's why I can't hit people sometimes. I'll see them and I'm like, "What? You disappeared? Where did your little head go?"
Right. Yeah. So we'll have to hop in the custom games and test that out at some point. But yeah, I mean, I get where Ghost of Sleepsville's coming from, and it sucks, man. It sucks that you can't peek anybody. It sucks that like the only guaranteed gunfight that you're going to win, unless you're using specific rogues or utility, are gunfights where you absolutely 100% get the drop on someone. Like trying to outgun someone or outplay someone is almost impossible whenever your ping is 70.
Yeah.
It's almost completely trying to run away and use some crazy movement to get away from someone. I've been very successful at doing that in custom matches whenever the ping is way lower than it is in public matches. But if I try to do that shit in public matches, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to
do it.
Yeah. Yeah. On my screen, I'm all over the place. On their screen, I was running in a straight line. You know what I mean?
Like, got team shot. It was like, what happened?
Exactly. So it is what it is. Next up, we have a post here by 3Jad21, an unintended side effect of removing shrapnel rounds from Fixer. Back when Fixer came out in November 2020, his ability to slow people down with his passive was a brand new thing for Rogue. So much so that when they released their next character, Sigrid, they made it a point that she wasn't affected by Sigrid's. Nope. that she wasn't affected by Fixer's slow. This created a nice little counter for Fixer's slow, which Dahlia could also get by linking. Now Sigrid's passive, I didn't even fucking think about that. Dahlia pairing with fucking, goddamn, LMPX Dahlia paired with Fixer, ignoring the armor. I didn't even fucking think about that. Anyway, now Sigrid's passive feels a lot less useful now that the only things in the game that slow you down are barbed wire and certain grenades, such as phantom smoke and tear gas. I don't think phantom smoke slows you down. I feel that Sigrid deserves to get a slight buff to her passive now that Fixer no longer slows people down with his bullets. I know Sigrid is a great character already, but I don't think any rogue's passive should feel like it has as little use as Sigrid's does now. Now, I'll agree with this because Sigrid's passive has felt pretty much useless for a very long time. Her ability to get through the trench barbed wire, you can destroy it with your fists if you're actually able to deploy the barbed wire without it destroying itself, right? And then like the tear gas grenades, yes, they slow you down, but like you're so used to being slowed with every other rogue in the game that whenever you're using Sigrid, you're already anticipating being that slow. So you're trying to get to cover behind the tear gas grenade as opposed to barreling through it with her specifically. So yeah, I agree. Sigrid probably needs to have a really, really good passive rework done. She probably deserves it more than Fixer does, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know what I would give her as a passive ability right now, because like she's a very strong character as is. They need to make a nerf to her ability because the duration of it is really, really long. The cooldown on it is really, really short. It would be nice if they could create some synergy with the shield and also the duration. So imagine something like this. Her passive ability, as long as she's taking damage or hitting someone with the shield, it increases the duration of it. Like, I think that would be good synergy where like, if Sigrid pulls the shield out and you completely ignore it and you force her to come to you so that she can keep it out even longer, that puts her in a position where she's overextending. That makes her tunnel vision someone, and that allows you to get that down a little bit more. But if you're using Sigrid as a way to deny some of the frontal damage and people are continuing to shoot at you, then it causes that duration to go longer and longer and longer, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, so then that as someone that plays against a Sigrid, how do you handle this situation? Did you shoot at the shield to try to get the down for the person that's defusing the bomb, or do you try to lure Sigrid away from that person? You see what I'm saying? It causes this nice give and take scenario where you're trying to outplay her with it, as opposed. You're
not just going to shoot it.
Right. So I think that's one thing that I've enjoyed a lot about Rogue Company, and they're slowly getting rid of a lot of it. It's synergy. Saint has great synergy with his perks and his ability, which in turn feeds into his passive ability. So he's able to buy perks that makes his draw and heal faster, which in turn heals Saint even faster whenever he is in a gunfight and he's reviving someone. Good synergy there. Dallas, whenever you activate the ability and you down someone, then you get your ability back. Synergy. There's a good synergy for some of these rogues, but a lot of these rogues are missing that synergy. Like Fixer's going to have good synergy because he's going to be able to pop the ability, get the headshots and the extra damage, and then 45 seconds later, he's going to be able to repop that ability, and if he gets energized, then he's going to have it that much faster. So that in and of itself is going to create another level of synergy. Paired with his passive ability, it's going to negate armor, so it's going to feel really good playing that character because of the synergy that everything has together. It's going to be broken as shit, but it's going to feel really good when you're using it. I mean, for real. So, like, I would like to see them add more synergistic things into the game that allows you to do certain things with certain rogues to either make their ability more impactful or make certain parts of their kit a little bit more substantial than just Umbra has no synergy in his kit. He has the spider, which leaves him vulnerable while he's using the spider. Whenever you explode the spider, it is what it is. It's gone. His passive ability gives him a little bit of extra HP. Wouldn't it make more sense if like the spider started out as like 5 HP and as you did damage, it actually increased the damage that the spider could take or make it faster? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Synergy. Like, we're not 5 here. The synergy.
You know what I'm hearing? When you say synergy and you're talking about that, I'm like, oh, their identities.
Yes, yeah.
Like, because that's just gone. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
You just pick anyone, really. I mean,
yeah, right.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I would like to see them do something with Sigrid, and I think that they could do something really, really nice and really, really impactful. Like, you know, if they wanted to do something even more extreme, have her cooldown on it be 120 seconds for the shield. And whenever she has the shield out and she's using the shield, the more damage she absorbs with the shield reduces the cooldown of it again. So you have the initial shield, you absorb X amount of damage. If you don't absorb any damage, it puts it on a 120 second cooldown. But if you absorb like 1,000 damage with that thing, then it reduces the cooldown to like 60 seconds. If you absorb 1,500 damage, it reduces it down to like 45 seconds. Synergy. Like, it's not hard. Next up here, we have a post by Jay-Z's 13907. Update goes to show Hi-Rez isn't paying attention to the community. Genuinely disappointed in the Hi-Rez team yet again. Have they not seen the writing on the wall? They have all the analytics and stats from the game, in addition to a very vocal community. All substantial recourses at their disposal to make real improvements. And what do? Bury their heads deeper in the sand and refuse to communicate with the community. Yeah, Jay-Z's. I agree. Like, I understand that you don't want to like spend your entire time doing the update show talking about bug fixes and things like that that's going to be implemented in the next update. But some of the more substantial bugs that are in the game, like the surrender option or, you know, some of the barbed wire issues that you have with Trench or
the store on my screen, open store.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Get that the fuck off the screen.
Yeah,
I can't see shit, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely ruins clutch moments.
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Yeah. It would be nice if they highlighted some of these major bugs that they were getting. But here's the problem. Here's why they don't do it, Jay-Z's. They don't want to come out and say, we fixed the surrender button issue. And then whenever the update comes out, the exploit's still there, or they didn't fix the surrender issue and the button's not there anymore. They don't want to put themselves into a position to where someone has to hold them accountable.
Well, they learned something, you know, where they were like, oh, don't tell them. Just,
yes,
it's an accident. It just accidentally got turned on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody believes that, right?
Turn
it back off.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean,
yeah. So, and that's what it comes down to. They don't want to put themselves out there to say, hey guys, we think that we figured out how to fix this. In the next update, there should be a fix for insert bug or insert problem here. Because if they do that, then the community is going to hold them accountable for it. And the last thing that First Watch Games and Hi-Rez wants to be is held accountable for anything. I've seen that firsthand. Trust me on that. They don't want to be held accountable for nothing. So the only thing that we can do as a community is continue to complain about the issues in the game. That way there is some accountability held there. And that's how I feel about it. So last up, we have a post here by Independent Action 98. My plea to the Roco devs. So I have said this repeatedly here on Reddit and on my Twitch stream. I fucking love this game, but it pains me to see where it is going. There are so many persistent bugs that have existed for so long that I've mentally accepted them. I understand the devs are people too, and will never bash them as individuals. However, when I see consistent closed eyes to demands from the community, it makes me wonder whether or not they are even trying at this point. Player count is dipping over time, and it breaks my heart because this game has been so near and dear to my heart. I'm in no way a sweat or a pro, but Rogue Company has always been a game I can come back to have fun. All of y'all that are cussing out devs need to take a chill pill. People make mistakes. Ultimately, this is just a game, and I don't think enough of y'all understand that. Do I want to break my monitor after I lag out of my 5th match that day? Yes. After the opposing Lancer insta-downs me with a maxed out arbitrator for the 20th time that match? Absolutely. These issues bother me, and sometimes I just need to leave a match and come back to Roco a couple of days later to let things cool. This is my plea to the Roco devs. Remember back in the day when you guys personally interacted with us here on threads and posts? We felt that personal discussion, and because of that connection, there were quicker bug fixes and probably the best game climate we've ever had. Rogue has grown since then, but please find the medium that brings that relationship back. If these bugs are still going to persist, at least establish with us that you are working towards a solution. Whether it's Nick, aka Pretty Hair, or some other members of the dev team making a video apologizing for the bugs and explaining a solution that will be implemented, you'll slowly gain our respect again. As a player of your game and a lover of all things Rogue Company, I know that y'all really care for us players, but please show that to us. The upcoming Walking Dead collab is so dope, but I feel like it's using band-aids for brain surgery. There are always going to be hecklers and haters, but the majority of us really do care for the game. Address the internal problems and the players, and the positive from us will follow. Thank you. I think that Independent Action really summed up everything in one nice little post that they made over on Reddit. I think that a lot of the things that you see from the community comes from a place of love. And I think that the developers have been so disconnected from that, and they think that it is, oh, these people are just complaining, or these people are just unhappy about this, or they are really persistent about this thing. I think that it has at some point left a bad taste in their mouth because no one really knows over on the development team how to take this feedback in and turn it into something positive, and to be able to construct something positive for not only the development team, but also for the community. I thought that's what the community manager was supposed to do, but I guess I'm wrong because I've never been a community manager. But in my head and all the job postings that I've seen for community manager, it seems that the most important attribute that you can have is being able to understand community concerns and being able to convey that information to the development team in a very direct and cohesive way.
Feedback.
Yes. But it doesn't feel like we've had that. Now, it feels like we had that at one point whenever Scott was actually making videos and actually putting a lot of stuff out there into the world whenever he was part of the development team for the real game Rogue Company and not the mobile version of it.
You know?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes. And I think that, some people can handle transparency. Some people can handle feedback. Not everybody, but some people can take that information. They can extrapolate what they need to out of that and be able to convey that to not only the team, but also the community and try to find fixes and workarounds for some of this stuff. It takes a very, very, very specific individual to be able to do all this because you're going to be shoveling through a pile of shit to find a diamond in it, right? But
pressure.
Yes, but it's there. It's absolutely there. And I think that the standpoint that the community is currently at is they're very frustrated in a lot of different ways. And what do frustrated people do? They pound on their chest and they pound on their keyboards and they try to be as big and larger than life as humanly possible. That's exactly what happens. And they have more than enough right to do that since there's been no information, there's been no conversations. There've been no posts. There's been nothing for the community to be able to contribute to, much less vent and air their frustrations with. There's been no fireside chats in God knows how long. There's been the closest thing that we've got to something like this is whenever the Formal Affair update went out, and it was a gigantic clusterfuck. Minnie was posting polls over on her personal Twitter page. Hey, what are your guys' thoughts on the Formal Affair update? What are your guys' thoughts on the Battle Pass? And blah, 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 blah. She made a whole thread of polls asking people this, but she's using her personal Twitter account to try to gauge a response from that. She doesn't have anywhere near the amount of followers that Gandhi had. And she definitely doesn't have anywhere near the amount of followers that the Rogue Company official Twitter page has. So I feel like that, I've almost given up on this point, but there needs to be an understanding that you can't set automated bots to post everything on your social media account. You have to have someone actively run your social media account. That way that they can gather the feedback that they need and convey that to the development team, and then also communicate to the community on what is reasonable and what's not reasonable based on the criteria that the developers are trying to meet. It's not that hard, but they're making it more difficult than it needs to be.
I think one of the biggest problems is they seem to take some constructive criticism as people being haters.
Yes.
I mean, you wanted feedback, right? This game has nothing but feedback.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, as someone who plays it pretty much every day, it's not got a lot of positive feedback when you're asking about specific things like updates.
Yes. Yes. You can sit down with anyone from the community and say, how does Rogue Company to you personally feel? And I guarantee you, over half, if not more, of the things that they're going to say to you is going to be construed as a negative comment towards your game. But they're still playing it.
Yeah, there you go.
They're still
just like us.
With all of the bad, with all of the negative, we're still on there. We're still playing it, and we're still doing what we do with it.
Haven't missed a battle pass since it dropped.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't that right, Garbo? It gets 2 days before the update. Gar was like, I'm level 29. I gotta fucking grind through this, baby.
I gotta
I'll
do.
Play a couple with you, but
yeah,
I mean, that's a lot.
But
in that bitch.
What I think that they realistically need to do is let's have a Christmas present to the community as a whole. If they started now and started gathering feedback on the problem areas for the game and made a real push to try to clear up a lot of these negative impacts that the game has, and instead of releasing a new battle pass, instead of releasing a lot of new cosmetics, instead of trying to make these unneeded balance changes to a lot of the rogues and a lot of the things in the game, if they pushed for just one update that tried to fix as many issues, as many bugs, and tried to streamline some of these systems that they have in the game, possibly upgrade the servers a little bit. That's not a lot to ask for, I don't think. Try to rework the matchmaking system to kind of make it less Halo 2-ish. If they kind of focused on these individual problem areas and had the Rogue Company Revive update, where it was no battle pass, no cosmetics, no nothing. It was just an update with fixes and balances and better matchmaking, better servers, better everything. I guarantee you'll have more people return for at least that first week than you will that'll log in to get skins for Walking Dead. I can almost 100% guarantee that. Because all the naysayers And all the haters are going to come back to the game to try to say, I told you so, that it wasn't any better, to try to poo-poo on it. You're going to have your existing player base that's going to come into it excited for a more pleasurable gaming experience. And you're going to have people that have never played Rogue Company say, oh, they did an entire update just to try to fix the game, to make it a little bit more streamlined, to optimize the game. I'm interested in checking that. They're really listening to their community. They're really plugged in.
The game doesn't even run right on Switch.
Yes.
Why is it on there?
But you can run Overwatch 2 on Switch at 60 FPS with no issues. Let's think about this for a second. You had Overwatch on Switch running at 60 FPS that was a 6v6 game, Overwatch 1, with no issues whatsoever. Of course, every game has its issues, but the game was still playable on the Switch. You can't even get 6v6 Team Deathmatch and Rogue Company to work on Switch. A little bit of optimization goes a very, very long way. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think that you can blame everything on hardware limitations when I can literally plug a toaster into my monitor and run this game. May not run good, but I can still play it. So yeah, I think that, in my opinion, if I was a developer, if I was someone higher up over at High Res or First Watch Games, and I saw all this negative feedback coming back, because this Walking Dead thing after the Formal Affair update, it really feels like a slap in the face to a lot of people, because they're like, you gave us a shit update with the new season, and the game didn't even run. Nothing was addressed for a month. And then now we're getting this collaboration with The Walking Dead that we're going to have to pay 1,500 Rogue bucks for each individual bundle.
And they're like, hey, we gave you a supply drop and 20,000 Battle Pass XP.
Yeah.
Hey, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
So for episode number 35 of the Unofficial Rogue Company Podcast, if you want to contribute in any way, you can hit us up on Twitter at Broguecast. You can shoot us an email, broguecast@gmail.com, or you can join the Discord. The link will be in the description down below. There is a section for Broguecast contributions, so if you have anything that you want to contribute, please feel free to do that there. So for this episode, I'm here with Co Reed.
I'm here with Dirt Lord.
I'm here with Garbo.
And I'm here with Griffin.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys.